What's up, everybody? What's good? My name is EK, and welcome back to What's Good English. It is the end of the month, so I'm back here with another TikTok compilation video. For the people that don't follow me on my other social media, like my mother, this gives her, and those of y'all that are like her, a chance to see those TikTok videos. One thing, I'm recording it in this 9:16 format because I realized the other day that since everything is pretty much going to be in this format, if you're watching on your phone or tablet or something like that, it'll fill it up if you watch it this way versus me recording it in a 16:9 when you got the black bars on both sides of the screen. So let me know in the comments if you want me to go back to a 16:9 or if you want me to redo these compilation episodes in this format. Anyways, enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and there is going to be one new video that I haven't published anywhere at the end of this one, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, thank y'all so much for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Ciao.
Want to test your New York accent? Say coffee costs a quarter on the corner.
Hey yo, I'm from Illinois, but I got mad family up in NYC, Jersey, and upstate. And my dad used to take me up there all the time when I was a kid to visit them and whatnot. So they probably gonna light me up when they see this, but that's whatever. Anyways, coffee costs a quarter on the corner. And while still here, dead in the middle of Little Italy, little did we know we riddled to middle didn't do diddly. Alright, y'all, peace.
Bro, my own family tried to gaslight me yesterday.
Yo, will y'all leave this girl alone for saying yes tonight? A lot of y'all act like the English language is some princess that constantly needs protection because it's being attacked on all fronts. It ain't that deep. One of the things that makes the English language so great is how permissible it is and stuff like this. Like, a lot of y'all didn't even peep that the most remarkable thing about what she said is that you understood it.
Conversate is not a word. You should have said converse. But you said conversate and people went along with it, and it irks me every time I hear it because you can't use conversate in a sentence.
That one's easy.
Barbecue, 15837 South Crenshaw Boulevard. That's right off Manchester. Brud's Barbecue tastes so good, make you want to slap your mama. Don't it, Willie?
Yeah, boy. Hey, mama, what the hell you want with?
Yo, Bay Area, I love y'all, and I'm in no way disputing that E40 did not come up with the slaps that everyone uses today exclusively for music. However, you cannot tell me that a phrase that's been around for mad long, like so good it make you want to slap your mama, was not in that man's head, inspire him to come up with music that's so good it's like it slap you in the face or slapping in the trunk or whatever. Consciously or unconsciously, that is the inspiration for that. So much so that he had to go on Twitter and explain it because people were using it for food because they were honoring the original phrase. Now, yo, disputes over the origin of slang happen all the time, and I ain't gonna try to convince you to one side or the other. That's cool, man. We can all agree to disagree on this one. I'm just saying that is where I am putting the origin of that phrase.
What's a mistake in a super famous song that you always notice?
Okay, so the English subjunctive tense is formed with the word were. So when you're making a hypothetical statement, you're supposed to say something like, if I were rich, I would buy that car, or if he were here, he would tell us to get back to work. So whenever I see a movie or a TV trailer that has the following song in it, I wouldn't say it irks me because that's too strong of a word for how I feel about it, but it's definitely something that I notice. I want to start this video off by saying that I care so very little about this, and if it were possible for me to care any less about it, I would. But this is inaccurate. It is indeed one of the uses of the subjunctive tense, but if we look at grammarly, you'll see here that the example that I gave in my last video is accurate. If I were, if he were, if he, she, they were. We do not use was for the subjunctive. What you said here is correct though. I misspoke in my last video. The subjunctive is not a tense, it's a mood. And that is very important to remember because it also makes this incorrect. Subject-verb agreement and matching the verb to the correct tense is a cornerstone of English grammar, but the subjunctive does not exist in the past, present, or future. It's a hypothetical situation outside of reality. For example, if I were to say he was at the store, that is a specific event in the past. If I say I don't know if he was at the store, that is an event that happened in the past which I'm referring to. If I said if he were at the store, he would have called you by now, that is an event that exists outside of reality. It doesn't exist in the past, present, or future. I'm talking about something that could or could not be. And that is where the subjunctive mood kicks in. Again, I care so very little about this, and nobody really should. It's some advanced grammar stuff that ain't nobody really got time for, and it's probably gonna disappear in the next few decades.
God, you know, this salutation got me thinking.
Peace, God. Yo, go watch that video from Sun if you haven't already. I'm just here because I want to piggyback a few things into the conversation. Non-black people that use or want to use the N-word, y'all got the same thing in common. Y'all be trying to use it like as an exclamation point or a way to make your sentence sound cool. We do not use that word to sound cool or like it's an exclamation point. Oh, but it means friend. No, it doesn't. Your sense of entitlement and your insatiable desire to want to colonize everything has you literally trying to overwrite all of the nuance out of the word so you can then use it very narrowly. And the people that grew up around or claim to have grown up around black people and use that proximity to black people as an excuse or justification for being able to use it, y'all disappoint me the most. See, that tells me that you look at the way that we speak as some inferior or broken version of English and not a well-defined set of rules of pronunciation and grammar that's capable of conveying complex logic and reasoning. And if you don't respect the way black people speak, then you don't respect black people. So you can just take the rest of our words and grammar and pronunciation right up out your mouth. Now, I can't stop nobody from saying it, but don't act surprised if somebody makes you pay for it.
They took our code and now they call it their pop culture.
Yo, if you don't follow Breezy, you missing out. And she right. African American vernacular English, Ebonics, Black English, whatever you want to call it, has been socially acceptable for a long time now. It's only when us, the creators of the thing, use it that people want to say that it makes you sound unintelligent and that you shouldn't use it. Especially black women. Y'all will write it dawn in the comments and call black women ghetto when they say axe instead of ask, or they drop a copula, or they do anything that makes them sound black to you. Meanwhile, you will support, praise, and uplift other creators when they do a poor imitation of a black woman. And then we get mad in the comments when we call out that bad behavior. It's like y'all mad that y'all didn't steal it under the radar back when you could. Like right now, there is some old white dude that's super mad that he didn't steal the idea of Ebonics and try to market it to white people as some new, more effective way to speak English. And that's on Big Mama Thornton. The sound that you're referring to here is called the unvoiced fricative. It's actually one of the rarest sounds that exist in any language from all over the world, and the fallacy that all of you proper pronunciation people want to believe is that anyone has any sort of choice in whether or not they pronounce a word like this as boats or boats or both or both. The reality is the majority of people have no choice at all. When we're born, we have a very short window of time in which we have the ability to differentiate between any sound that exists in any language. But as we age, we begin to specialize in only the sounds that we hear spoken around us, which we will later need to be able to reproduce. And by the time we get to school, it's already too late. Now, that's not to say that the rest of the sounds we didn't learn are now lost to us. It just means that they become more difficult to identify and reproduce as we get older. And if there wasn't anyone in your life that was making a very rare sound as you grew up, then you will likely have difficulty pronouncing that sound your entire life. There are plenty of children of immigrants whose parents didn't speak their native languages around them as they grew up, and they will never be able to accurately reproduce all of the sounds of their native language when they try to learn it as an adult. And this goes out to everyone who still thinks that the word proper applies when it comes to things like languages and communication. The way you sound says nothing about your intelligence or your character. Conversely, harboring prejudice against the way other people sound does say something about your character. You know, it's a little funny because you had probably never even heard of the voiced or unvoiced dental fricative until I made that video about them and why they're difficult for a lot of people to pronounce, but you're still here trying to argue with me about them, and you're using this as your current plan of attack. The voiced retroflex trill, also known as the rolling R, you can hear that in Spanish in words like rojo and ahorrar. That is a very distinct sound. Almost anybody can hear it. Not everybody can make it though. Gee, I wonder what the reason for that is. Now, it couldn't possibly have anything to do with the reason that I brought up in the video about the voiced and unvoiced dental fricative that you left this comment on, could it?
So people are commenting on my video and saying that Haitians are not Hispanic but are Latino because
Alright, yo, I'm gonna try to answer this one. So there's three terms you need to consider here. There's Latino, there's Hispanic, and then there's Ibero. You might not know Ibero. I'm gonna explain it real quick. It's easy. That includes everyone that speaks a language from the Iberian Peninsula, so that is Spanish and Portuguese. So that includes anyone in the Americas that speaks a language of Spanish or Portuguese. That can also include Spain and Portugal, depending on who you ask and how strongly they feel about it. Then you got Hispanic. That only is talking about people that speak Spanish. So that can include Spain. Again, there's going to be arguments, but then that is anyone in the Americas that speaks Spanish. And then there is Latino, which is the most inclusive. So first of all, Latino America, like, yo, that term is from 1836 from Michel Chevalier, I think, and he called it l'Amérique latine, l'Amérique latine, l'Amérique. I'm still learning French, yo, forgive me about that. But yo, it's from 1836. It's the most inclusive of all of them. It includes everyone that speaks a language that has been derived from Latin. So we're talking Spanish, Portuguese. You can even Spanish, Portuguese. You can even include Romania in there, Italian, like. Again, there's going to be a fight on that one, but anyone in the Americas speaking a language derived from Latin is included in this term, which includes Haiti. Now, the world has pretty much given Haiti the middle finger ever since the slave rebellion. Big up to that. But yo, it is super weird to consider people on one side of the island as Latino and the other side of the same damn island as not Latino. Just pointing that out there. So if you want to identify as Latino, go for it, because you are. You are indeed included in that term if you're from Haiti. But if you only want to identify as Haiti because that's what you only, or excuse me, if you only want to identify as Haitian because that's what you've only been identifying as, like, that's cool too. That's pretty much the way the world has constructed that for you. But yo, y'all are included in Latino. Haitians are Latino. So claim that if you want to claim that. All right, I'm out. Yes, outside influence is how languages evolve. The case with AAVE here is different, though. Let me explain why. If someone wanted to learn Japanese only because they wanted to consume the content that comes out of Japan, but not actually go to Japan or even make friends with Japanese people, that's something that does happen. It's just a little bit weird. However, it would be extremely weird if that person only wanted to use Japanese with other people who weren't consuming Japanese culture or content at all. That's exactly what happens with AAVE. People want to take it from us, but not engage with our culture at all. And listening to rap music is not engaging with the culture. You might have could have made that case 30 years ago, even 20, but not right now. Being in an interracial relationship is also not engaging with the culture. There are plenty of examples of that on this app. So to the people that want to use it, why? What are you doing to help Black people not be seen as unintelligent when we use it? Because our language coming out of your mouth does not actually help us at all. Let's talk about simpletons. Wait, is it simpleton or simp? Let's talk about simp. Gen Z did not come up with this term. Millennials didn't come up with this term. It didn't come from Twitch or Instagram or that site for fans that I can't talk about on this app. You can actually hear it in that 3 6 Mafia song, Sipping on Scissor from back in 2000.
Working the wheel, a pimp, not a simp.
But if I was really choosing violence against Gen Z, and I am, I would do something like calling all millennials, Gen Xers, and boomers. I know y'all remember this joint from 1992.
Till the break of dawn, baby, got it going on. A lot of simps won't like this song.
As you can see, the term has been around for a long time, but this is not a video about simp. Khalil Green already made an excellent video about that in episode 5 of the series, How Everything on This App Originated with Black People. This is a video about gatekeeping, and specifically the effects of gatekeeping. The very next line from that Sir Mix-a-Lot song was, because those punks like to hit it and quit it. Now we can all of us agree that the modern day usage of the word simp does not include people that would be able to hit it as you do. Language is sticky, especially slang, and if you're using it in public, you can never really stop it from jumping to outside groups. Once that has happened, if you attempt to gatekeep it, that can have a couple of effects. One of those effects being the original definition becomes overwritten by the larger outside group. Another possible effect is that the word will splinter and will lead to something like Black people and white people using the word ghetto differently. Attempting to gatekeep the outside group from the meaning will only lead to them constructing their own, and because the outside group is so much larger, it will have influence on the inside group over time. That is how language works. Now, this does not mean that I'm giving a pass to everybody that wants to sound like us. That is the contrary. I stand on what I said a few videos ago when I said that our language coming out of the mouth of people that aren't us does not help us. It does mean that I'm going to gently correct everyone in the outside group to make sure they understand what they're saying. Now, let me know in the comments what you think. I'm sure some of y'all want to argue with me, which is cool, which is definitely cool. We need to be having this discussion.
I be trending. That's crazy. Yeah. Do I be trending?